Hi everybody, I'm Hans and I'm back here with Patrick, and today we're going to talk about filtering within a packet broker and the different types of filters we can do. And then so Patrick's going to talk us through that, and then once he's done, I'll walk you through how you can add custom fields to this filters. So Patrick, why don't you go ahead?
Thank you, Hans. So if you look at the filter criteria, this is really basic NetStack functionality that allows us to filter on certain either layer 2, layer 3, or layer 4 type filters. But before we get there, let's look at the different filter modes that we have here. So if you look at the filter modes, you have pass all, which means send all traffic through that. The packet broker, or disable it, which means you don't want to do any filter criteria. But then when it comes really interesting is when you do pass by criteria or deny by criteria, or pass by criteria unmatched or deny by criteria matched. And that's when you can get into available fields that that Hans was talking about a little earlier. And you can filter by MAC address, VLAN information, ether type information, also by DSCP, which allows us to look at QoS tags, IP protocols, IP fragment, which is something new in version 5.5, where we can actually look at that from a fragmentation perspective and say only non-fragments or only the first fragment or all the fragmented packets that you want to use. And then after that, we also have IPv4 addresses or IPv4 sessions, which allows us again to be more specific with the IP addresses we want to look at. We can do layer 4, where we can go for a specific port. Some of our customers might want to, only do TCP traffic or only UDP traffic, etc. And then also TCP control, which allows us to really look at, the different flags and if they're matching, if it's an urchin or an ACK flag, etc. So you can make sure that you filter on all these different criterias. And if you look at that, that's already quite a few different fields you can filter on. But Hans is going to now walk you through and show you how you can add additional fields to filter on. Hans?
Yeah. So this is something I've bumped into with a couple customers, and just to show the true flexibility of our packet broker, it's not something that's widely known, but you can actually augment the field types there. And so I do this by going into settings. And then I look down here in this dynamic filter mix down at the bottom. I can either have one field set or two field sets, but for our exercise today, we'll just work with one. I click on Configure Fields, and now I can add MPLS. I can add the tunneled IP addresses within the MPLS, whether it's IP addresses, subnets, ports, what have you. So let's just say I'm going to add the tunneled IPv4 address first, and hit OK. And you can see here what service type it is, and you give lots of configuration items in that. I can also add a second one. GTPC and GTPU are really centric to service providers, or I can add VXLAN, the tunneled IPs within the VXLAN information. So I'm going to add the layer 4 port here for VXLAN, just to give you two examples. Or I can even add in custom filters. Custom filters let me index off of, anywhere from the start of the layer 2 header to the end of the layer 3 or the start of layer 4 headers, and build a filter around that. Once I've got those, I'll just go hit OK and apply all this really quick. OK a couple more times, and then go back to looking at those filters on that dynamic filter. And notice now I've got MPLS, my tunneled IPv4 address inside of MPLS tunnel. If I want to look at that, I can put in my IP addresses. Or if I want to look at the layer 4 ports on my tunneled VXLAN, I can pull down here the tunneled inner port number for either TCP or UDP traffic on that VXLAN tunnel.
Great, thank you so much.
So that shows you some of the true power and flexibility of the Keysight packet brokers.
Great. So thank you, Hans. So today in this video, we showed you all the different filter modes and the filter criteria On top of that, all the different available fields that come standard, and Hans showed you how to add additional fields and even how you can add a custom field.